Buyers making a bush change. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee and let's have a look at this realestate.com.au article, originally from the Courier Mail, about buyers making a bush change. Now, I think it's frankly quite interesting because how many people want to get out of the big cities? You're seeing it happen in the States where people are just abandoning the big cities and going rural, getting out of this hustle and bustle, and perhaps if you can work remotely, maybe getting a bit more for your money, for your house out in the bush. And frankly, particularly for work remote, you can still get pretty decent internet out in the rural parts, and the services are not that bad, not like it was in the past. We'll have to see. Maybe I'll convince myself after reading this. So, money back in the bush. Rural properties fetching top dollar again. And we can see here, some beautiful, beautiful food right here on display. Rachel has just finished processing and packaging the first half of a beast we bought. And we'll put that video up shortly. And, I'm about to, after this, have some nice, a nice mince for breakfast. It's a good life. So, record beef prices, low interest rates, and rising land values are driving demand for rural properties as buyers seek a lifestyle change and a safe haven investment in the new pandemic world. Despite some of the worst drought conditions in generations, the rains are back, and so is the money in the Queensland bush, according to industry players. If you thought News's prestige property market had produced some eye-watering sale prices of late, wait until you hear how much rural properties have been fetching across the state. By far, the biggest rural property transaction in Queensland in the past 12 months was the sale of a huge cattle breeding operation owned by Clark and Tate in the state's west. The 133,700 hectare property called Mantuna Downs in Springsure sold to the North Australian Pastoral Company for a staggering $92.6 million, including close to 12,000 cattle. Independent valuer Heron Todd White's latest report reveals the state's rural property market is on fire, with agricultural land being seen as a safe haven asset in times of uncertainty. Prices are strong, with values in some areas, such as Blackall, hitting record highs of up to $1,000 per hectare. And while price points are high, the valuer believes the long-term capital gains have proven to be exceptional. Ray White Rural Queensland principal Jez McNamara said there had been strong demand for rural property in the past 12 months due to low interest rates and the low Australian dollar and good commodity prices. He said agricultural land prices had increased between 10 and 30%. Most of the demand was now coming from Australian grazing families rather than overseas. Families are seeing a real good future, so they're expanding while they've got the opportunity, he said. People are looking for assets to complement their existing holdings. Stock is low, but there are opportunities for buyers out there, and as spring comes on, we'll start to see more properties hit the market. There you go. The rural life, guys. He said there had also been a strong increase in demand for rural lifestyle properties within 2 hours of Brisbane since the pandemic. We've definitely seen a strong lift from Brisbane families looking for lifestyle properties since the pandemic, he said. A lot of companies are realizing they don't need staff in the office 5 days a week, so people who've always wanted that rural lifestyle are happy to commute for 3 days or so. Heron Todd White, Central Queensland Director Will McLay, said the Central Queensland market had been driven by record beef prices, low interest rates, and a switch in buyers from investors to owner-occupiers. The family sector is probably more dominant now, as the institutional investors are being squeezed out by yield compression, he said. Rapidly rising land values have added balance sheet strength and borrowing power to the family sector, and private family acquisitions of 20 to 50 million are relatively common. So there you go. Mr. McLay said developed scrub blocks and pastures with high growth finishing capacities were the most highly sought after properties. On the Gold Coast, the market has been driven by locals looking to increase their land holdings, with a number of smaller, under $5 million transactions taking place between adjoining owners. Larger parcels with multiple titles are attractive to buyers, and the low interest rate environment is attractive, he said. A number of buyers are looking at future returns on investment with the ability to boundary realign and sell off parts of property to reduce debt. And here we go, a property near Taroom sold for $22.5 at auction in Brisbane. In the Toowoomba region, one of the biggest sales so far is out of the Wellton Station, west of Goondiwindi. Heron Todd White's Stephen Cameron said it was understood the 9.5 hectare holding sold for about $32 million to a local large-scale pig operator with mixed grazing farming country. Another significant sale was that of the 16-hectare Marinvale Station near Greenvale, which sold at auction for $11.45 million, including cattle and plant items. Mr. Cameron said market prices had continued rising despite the pandemic lockdowns, with local buyers starting to replace southern buyers from New South Wales and South Australia. The locals have now taken charge, Mr. Cameron said. Their confidence is being driven by low interest rates and strong cattle pricing. Guess why the cattle pricing is strong? Because it's rained down in the southern country. 10 of the top rural property sales in Queensland in the past 12 months. Number 1 is Mantuna Downs in Springsure, 134,000 hectare property sold for $92.6 million. Recorded as $78.6 million excluding stock and equipment in December 2019. Terek in Blackall, a 54,800 hectare property sold for $40 million to a listed company, AAM. Wellton Station, west of Goondiwindi, 9.5 hectares sold for $32 million to a local large-scale pig operator with mixed grazing. Dirani in Kakatu, near Taroom, a 7,120 hectare holding sold for $22.5 million in December 2019 to a central Queensland grazier. Bowen Downs in Aramac, comprising 3 adjoining properties of 15 freehold and 2 leasehold titles of about 44,000 hectares, sold for $19.5 million prior to auction to an adjoining landowner. Broadlands in Ninduingba, a 1,344 hectare parcel with 9 freehold titles, sold for $19.4 million in October 2019. Salferino, north of Claremont, a 6,851 hectare mixed grazing farming property, sold at auction early this year for $18.9 million. A retreat station in Windura, a 142,000 hectare holding, sold in August for $17 million. Gladysvale in Auburn, a 6,271 hectare property, sold in March for $16.9 million. And Marionvale Station in Greenvale, a 16 hectare property, sold at auction for $11.45 million, including cattle and plant items. So there we have it, everyone. Consolidation of property in the rural sector. Neighbours buying up neighbours. People making a bush shift out of the capital cities, out of Brisbane. I mean, who wouldn't like to have a place out of Toowoomba, particularly if you only need to commute in 1 or 2 days a week? What do you think? As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Are you interested in making a bush shift, or have you done it? Do you know family or friends that have? We've got family out rural. You drive out there for a couple of hours, still a pretty good quality of life. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.